Daring Abroad, brought to you in partnership with Bank Diaspora Banking. Banking just like home.
He was born in Keroka, Kisii. He came here in the US at the age of 19, 27 years ago. But just allow me to forward. He's now a prominent attorney based in Texas, and he owns this restaurant that is known as Sugars in Houston City. That's our main guest on our show today, and this is how the show is looking in a summary. Legal practice in the US through the eyes of Kenyan attorney Laban Opande.
You have to be a good lawyer and be ethical and follow what the guidelines are as provided for. And then you also have to be a good business person.
Opande, who lives in Texas, is the president of the Association of Kenyan Attorneys in the US.
Came here at 19, almost 20 years old, right after high school.
Also on the show,
what we do specifically is educate people on money.
Emily Waiyaiya in Calgary, Canada, shares her experience working as a financial consultant. And on our back home segment,
when you think about investing, think about diversification.
Investment opportunities in money markets. Great, there you are, and straight to Laban Opande's journey to the US. Laban Opande has lived in the US for over 27 years and has been practicing law for about 16 years.
The unified tax system has already kicked in ever since Donald Trump came into power.
We met him and his partner, Solomon Musiemi, at their offices in Houston, Texas.
We do general practice, but most of our cases concentrate in the areas of litigation, some criminal defense, some family law, business law, and immigration. The litigation part has other components to it. We do cases in aviation law. We do industrial accidents and motor vehicle accidents as well. So there's quite a bit we do here, and we've been doing this for some time now.
The typical client for us is a Kenyan who wants to do business in the United States. Many of our clients, we take care of their international transactions, their litigation matters, or any of those issues. Also, we do handle a lot of people who are handling immigration matters, people who are immigrating into the United States. We do handle many of those kinds of cases. Business people who want to invest in the United States, who are doing business in the United States, or who may have faced some legal problems in the United States. We handle many of those kinds of cases. Mr. Opande is a wonderful friend of mine. He's a great lawyer, a great litigator. And I always feel confident when I know he's in court. I know business is being taken care of. And when I'm in court, we work closely. We strategize together. We plan the cases well in advance, and so that we can ensure that we protect the interests of each and every client that comes to our office.
Opande has his wings spread across the borders, and at some point you will find him in Nairobi, where he has partnered with Meritard Law Africa.
These are my corresponding partners here in Kenya. So for much of the legal work that I have here in Kenya that requires local content, these are my partners, and so they help me quite a lot in terms of helping me with clients that I may have overseas that have legal issues here in country, but also some clients who are here who may have some issues, overseas or in the US. So these are my partners, and so we've been partnering with them for the last about 5 years. Quite a good experience. I love the collaboration. But I've also worked with other attorneys here in Kenya on various aspects, even though this is my primary office when I'm here in Kenya.
Kenyans want to come and invest in Kenya, start business, buy properties, involved in litigation. He needed a bridge, at least someone he can trust, someone that can be able to work together. And I think we hit it off, and now we're here. with him for the last 5-6 years. I know we really collaborated with him, especially when the Ethiopian air crash. We really learned a lot from the cooperation with Laban.
The two firms are family established to handle legal matters both in the US and in Kenya.
For Kenyan lawyers and our brothers who are lawyers in the US, this is a better way of building, especially the local Kenyans, to expose them to international legal practice. By having partnered with them, it makes it easier for us, for even the people in diaspora. They don't need to use foreign lawyers for any legal briefs that are international in nature, because we already have a Kenyan lawyer who is established in the United States, and we have a partnership with him.
My coming here really depends on the workload that I have. Much of the work is virtual. We're able to meet clients virtually and, of course, do filing electronically. But sometimes there's a need to actually come and visit with the clients and talk to them. I started my schooling from Keroka DOK Primary School, Pure Box 101 Keroka, and then went to State House Primary here in Nairobi, and then Dagoretti High School before I went. It is so important that if we have been privileged to get to a certain level, that we're able to maintain the connection with our alma mater, with our schools that gave us the footing to be where we are and to do what we do. And I want to encourage everyone, if you went through any school, reach back, make the connection, give some mentorship, provide some scholarship if you can, because then that's truly how you're able to impact, the communities that where we come from.
Back to the practice in the US, and one clarification I sought from Laban is just who is an attorney.
To be called an attorney simply means you are licensed. In other words, you are barred. You've been approved by the state bar. I have been approved by the state bar. Actually, the licensing body is the Supreme Court of Texas. And so the difference between that really is you can be a lawyer in the sense that you went to law school, you finished your degree, your law degree program, but then you were never barred. You were never given a license to practice law. And so that's the difference. In the US, we have two tiers in terms of law. We have the federal law and then the state law. So I am licensed to practice in both federal courts as well as in state courts here in Texas. So that's really the difference between being an attorney and being a lawyer.
Basically, you can't cut across just from what I've learned. It's just because the systems are different. I've heard you mention the rules of procedure. That's why.
Law is the same, essentially. If you do wrong to me here, it's going to be the same as you do wrong to somebody in Kenya. So that's standard.
I like that.
However, the process of prosecuting the issue can be different, and that's what I'm talking about, the rules of procedure. So that is where the difference is. So really, somebody who's coming from Kenya, there may not be too much fish out of the water. It's just that it may take some time to learn the new processes in terms of procedure. So, and then we have other areas of law which may not be as developed in Kenya as they are here. For example, areas of oil and gas. For example, here in Texas, oil and gas is a big area of practice, simply because this is the energy capital of the world. Oil is a big industry in this state and many other states within here. And it may not be as big in Kenya. So if you're wanting to come and practice in that area, then obviously you may want to come and learn what law and gas involves in the state.
Laban wears many hats. He is an entrepreneur who has learned the value of diversification. He owns a restaurant in Houston.
It's called Sugar's Restaurant. And my hope is that I'll be able to cater to the Kenyans and really East Africans and Africa as a whole in terms of the cuisine that we serve there. The current cuisine is Cajun food, which is more of the Southern American cuisine, steak and seafood type. But I want to make it a fusion with Kenyan food. I work with a wonderful lady by the name of Chef Zain. Chef Zain is from Kenya as well, and she makes some Swahili type of menu food.
Laban has also ventured into the real estate business.
We are pursuing a development in a city called Beaumont, which is roughly about an hour and a half from here. We're wanting to do a housing development on about 123 acres of property within the Beaumont city limits. We have the contract in place, just working with partners in terms of doing the actual development, which we hope to start before the end of the year. It's one of those things that for a lot of people, they have a confliction on whether should you invest in real estate in Kenya or should you invest here in the United States. But the reality of it is that we live here. This is our home. We get engaged. We participate in the communities that we live in. At least that's my belief and philosophy. And so I encourage my fellow Kenyans to look and consider to invest here.
A very inspiring story there, and coincidentally, Laban Opande will be hosting us here at Sugar's Restaurant this Sunday from 4 p.m. as we begin our meet and greet events in the US. We will be in 9 cities, and look out for details on our social media pages. Time now for our Diaspora Bite segment before we take a break.
Diaspora Bite, brought to you by TopTop Send. Send money to Kenya from the diaspora by simply downloading the TopTop Send app today to get started.
You cannot be such a good lawyer when you're not making money out of that business. So there's really 2 things you have to keep in mind all the time. You have to keep in mind that you have to be a good lawyer and be ethical and follow what the guidelines are as provided for as you took an oath as a legal practitioner. And then you also have to be a good business person.
Diaspora Bite, brought to you by TopTop Send. Send money to Kenya from the diaspora by simply downloading the TopTop Send app today to get started. Download and use the code Chams Media and instantly get a cash bonus on your first transfer.
Great. That Diaspora Bite leads us into a short breather, and when we return,
What we do specifically is educate people on money.
Waiyaya shares her experience making a living as a financial advisor in Calgary City, Canada. Don't go away.
It is one of the largest Kenyan events in the United States, and Chams Media together with AMG Realtors will be front and center. And joining me here at Juja, one of the prime locations of AMG Realtors, is none other than Catherine and Carol.
Yes, we shall be attending the Quitu event that will be held from the 3rd to the 5th of August at Houston, Texas. So I invite you all to come and join us and learn more about AMG Investment.
And also we'll be having meet and greet in different states in the USA, title issuance, goat eating sessions, and we have the biggest promotion ever from AMG Realtors to the Kenyans in the USA. So, see you there.
Own your dream home for as low as 1.98 million Kenya shillings in Vipingo, Kilifi, and enjoy a flexible payment plan of 10% on signing of the letter of offer and the balance in equal monthly installments within 18 months. Supported by world-class amenities and infrastructure, our estates offer a unique, secure environment with a wide range of outdoor facilities. SMS Vipingo to 22365 or call us today on 0740 400 215. Terms and conditions apply.
You're watching Daring Abroad, brought to you in partnership with CoopBank Diaspora Banking. Banking just like home.
Welcome back. Time now to cross over to Calgary City in Canada, and we met Waiyaya, who shared her experience making a living as a financial advisor. Take a look. Thank you, Emily, for this interview. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Very welcome to Calgary. Is this your first time here?
Actually, yes, it's my first time in Calgary City, but not first time in Canada, because I've been here before. What made you come here?
My story is very unique because from Kenya, I was born in Kwamaiko in Reiro, and then I moved to the UK because my mother was in the UK. So I did my university and my schooling in the UK. I did most of my primary and part of my secondary in Kenya. Then I moved to the UK. Once I finished university, and then I started work.
Which university was that, and what were you studying?
So I went to Imperial University. I did biomedical science as my bachelor's. And
that is in London?
In London.
You said in
central
what?
London.
You did what?
Biomedical science. So that was my bachelor's, and then I did a master's in immunology. Immunology,
okay.
Your immune system.
Immunology, wow.
So my background is very scientific. Once I finished that, I started working in the UK with laboratory work. So I did a lot of work with microbiology, with parasitology, with fungals, and also I worked within the National Health Reference Library for tuberculosis. So once I was working there, I found that the lab work was very repetitive. So I wanted more challenge. So I wanted to shift from working in the labs to working within the pharmaceutical industry, but unfortunately, once I started trying to find a pharmaceutical company, the world collapsed in 2009. And I was competing against people who had 15, 20 years experience.
So you abandoned that course.
I abandoned
and then what next?
And then from there, I actually came to Canada as a visit. I came here for 10 days. I looked around in Toronto and I was like, hi, this is amazing. Let me try and see if I'm able to come to Toronto and get a work permit, work visa, and then move. I came to Calgary to visit a friend, and I was like, okay, this is a smaller city. It has less traffic. The houses are bigger. The roads are bigger. So I was like, let me try and see if I can find
something to do here.
Something to do here.
You didn't have the relevant education background in financing. So how did that happen? How did you transit?
The company World Financial Group that I work for, they will take anybody. Even if you have a standard 8 education, if you're interested in finances, they will train you, they will mentor you, they will make sure you understand exactly what is happening.
So Emily, at World Financial Group, what are you doing exactly?
So what we do specifically is educate people on money. So when we come here as immigrants, nobody sits us down and tell us, okay, so this is Canada, this is the system that we work, this is how money works, this is the banking system. If you want to buy a house, this is the steps to do. Nobody does that. So what we want to do is make people aware of the money that they earn, and people work very, very hard for this money. Where can you put it and how should you put it?
So you cut across, you look at where I've put my money, whether it's in the bank, Kenyan example, I would say a SACCO, or in stocks, and then take a global picture and advise me. I'll also, the good thing with this company this is why I actually chose it, is we have access to about 70 different top tier companies in Canada and many more in the US. So what that allows us is, as financial independent brokers, I am not tied to a single company. I can look across and see what company works best for you, for your family, for your situation. Well done. And you know, watu maju, you know, people abroad, I hear you would ordinarily have 1 or 2 side hustles. Do you have any side hustle?
Yes. My side hustle right now is TopTop Send.
Oh yeah, TopTop Send.
I'm an ambassador of TopTop Send.
I know about TopTop Send, and coincidentally, TopTop Send is one of our sponsors of Daring Abroad show. So glad. I mean, what a coincidence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like TopTop Send as an app, 1, because their rates are very good, and 2, because it's very easy and user friendly. So it's easy to use. So it's not that complicated, and you can. The good thing is it also stores your numbers. So if you're sending to a specific family or mother, father, son, uncle, whatever, you can have the numbers stored within your app, and it's secure. So you can keep sending them without having to remember, oh, that number is this, and I have to type it in again.
So what exactly do you do for TopTop Send?
So for me, it's more about making sure people are aware.
Oh, so you are an agent?
Yes.
You are an agent, yes. And how did you know about them? So did they look for you? Did you look for them?
I looked for them because in the UK, I used to use TopTop Send in the UK. So when I came to Canada, and then later is when I found out that I could actually work with them. And I was like,
wow.
This is an answered
Great,
prayer.
Emily. Well done. And how is TopTop Send different from other money transfer companies or apps?
So for now, what I find TopTop Send is it gives people a peace of mind, because specifically for people who have immigrated and they are going through the process of refugee status and all of that, it doesn't ask for your SIN number. So you don't have to have your work permit and all that paperwork already available for you to be able to send money home. And you know, when you come here, people depend on you for everything. So as soon as you land, you're able to actually support your family back home without having, while you're waiting for your papers to be processed.
Wow. Well done, Emily. You have an impressive story. So how did you know about TopTop Send? You looked for them, or did they look for you?
I looked for them. I looked for them.
You are very aggressive.
Yes.
Very daring.
Life is about, if you don't step out of that comfort zone, you will not succeed. Step out of your comfort zone, find what you're passionate about, and trust me, the money will follow.
Wow.
The money will follow. Find what you want to do with your life that will make you happy, that will make you motivated to wake up every day.
Step out of your comfort zone. Very interesting. You've had it there. And thank you so much, Emily, for your time.
You are very
You've
welcome.
made it to Daring Abroad.
Thank you.
Asante sana. Bye. Great. I enjoyed that interaction with Waiyaia, and I believe you've picked a few tips about financial management. Time now for our Back Home segment.
Back Home, powered by Cooperative Bank.
My name is George Kikunju, the Chief Investment Officer at CoopTrust Investment Services. CoopTrust Investment Services is a subsidiary of the Cooperative Bank of Kenya, 100% owned by the bank and licensed to do investments in Kenya. So for retail investors, we have two broad products. We have the unit trust funds and the wealth management product. So unit trust funds, we have two. We have the money market fund and the bond fund. So these are pooled investments where an investor is able to invest in a basket of products at once and enjoy diversification from that. We have the wealth management product, which is very unique from one investor to the other. So this one is more of, we sit down, we understand your parameters, the return objective, we understand the risk appetite, the liquidity needs for you, tax implications, quite important for people who are in diaspora, and also any special constraints that you might have. So these will inform us on how to do asset allocation, how much to put in the stock market, how much to put in shares, how much to put in deposits, and other alternative investments, which CoopTrust is quite good at.
Yes, now Kenyans in the diaspora are big in investing back home. So tell us, how is CoopTrust Investment Services coming in? What products do you have for them?
Our team has a lot of experience and skilled in what we do, quite qualified. And we look at these markets daily. So for someone who is in diaspora, it might be a challenge to follow how the Kenyan markets are doing on a daily basis. It might be a challenge to know which bond is being issued, which stock is expected to do well. So for us, we'll do that for you. You bring the money, we do the research, we do everything for you, and make the investment decision. So you benefit from investing in the Kenyan capital markets without being here physically.
That is quite unique, but the question is, what are the benefits of using CoopTrust?
For us, CoopTrust is owned by a big brand and a big group, the Cooperative Bank of Kenya. We also able, and we've shown that we are able to deliver market-beating returns. Also, the Cooperative Bank of Kenya is a trusted brand. So by investing in CoopTrust Investment Services, you're investing in an umbrella which is quite trusted and a big brand.
Let's now talk about statistics, figures, and impact. How big is CoopTrust Investment Services?
If you look at the Coop Money Market Fund, which is currently more than 4 billion in Kenya shillings, the fund is currently yielding above 10.5% on an annualized basis. The bond fund is yielding 12.5%. So these are quite decent returns looking at the current economic environment. Of the 4 billion Kenya shillings that is in the money market fund, quite a big proportion. We've seen a lot of appetite coming from the diaspora investors. So the split in the money market fund is between local and foreign investors.
Now, a Kenyan might ask, yes, I am in the UK, I'm in the US, why don't I just invest here? What are the benefits of investing back home?
Kenya has been able over the last couple of years to be very resilient in terms of returns. So you're not just benefiting your country of origin, you're also getting returns even as you do that. So when you think about investing, think about diversification, diversifying your risk, and it's good to invest in a pooled fund, which is the unit trust.
Quite informative. And the final question is, what advice do you have to anyone in the diaspora thinking about investing back home?
So for anyone looking to invest back at home, it might look complex, it might look challenging, but we are here for you. Just get in touch with us. You can send an email and someone will get back to you. Send an email with what you want, what kind of product you want to have back at home, and someone will get to you and open an account for you and start enjoying the benefits of returns that Kenya is offering.
Cooperative Bank. We are you.
Great. That back home segment brings us to the end of the show. And remember, this Sunday from 4 p.m. Central Time, we will be here at Sugar's restaurant that is owned by prominent Kenyan attorney Laban Opande, who will be hosting us for our first meet and greet event here in the US. We will be in 9 cities across the month. And remember, you can get details on our social media pages. Many thanks for watching the show, and see you again next time.
Daring Abroad, brought to you in partnership with CoopBank Diaspora Banking. Banking just like home.